Stop. If you call someone fat in English, you are insulting them.
In this video, we are going to save you from embarrassment. We're swapping rude words for polite ones so you don't get in trouble.
We're covering the danger zones: weight, age, and money.
Instead of old, say this.
Instead of stingy, say this.
By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe anyone without offending everyone. Let's go. Welcome back to Pocket English, your resource for real-world English skills. Today, we are tackling a minefield, describing people. We've found that even intermediate learners struggle here because the direct translation from your native language often lands you in trouble.
That's right. A word that is neutral in your language might be extremely offensive in English. We call these more sensitive terms euphemisms. They are gentler, softer ways of saying something difficult. Let's dive straight into the biggest danger zone, talking about body shape and weight.
The word you absolutely must avoid is fat. It is almost always seen as cruel and aggressive, even if you don't mean it that way.
So, what do we say instead? If someone is heavy, we use the word overweight. This is a factual, medical term. It's neutral. A slightly softer, conversational term you might use with friends is plump.
Exactly. Plump sounds kind of round and soft, but not necessarily unhealthy. Now, if you're describing someone who is shapely and has curves, especially in a beautiful way, the respectful and common adjective is curvy. Think of it as a compliment, not a description of size.
Let's practice repeating these. Listen closely and repeat after me. Overweight, plump, curvy. Excellent. Now, what about the opposite end? If someone is very thin, saying skinny can also sometimes sound negative, suggesting they are weak or unhealthy.
A great polite alternative is slender. This word suggests grace and height. She is a tall, slender woman. Another option is slim. Slim is very common and completely neutral. You might also hear petite, but this is usually reserved for a woman who is both thin and short.
Let's repeat those polite alternatives. Slender, slim, petite. So, Sarah, imagine you are describing a new boss to me. How would you describe her politely?
I might say, she is quite a slender woman with dark hair, and she carries herself very confidently. Notice I used slender instead of saying she was skinny. It sounds much more professional. Remember, using the correct euphemism is the key to sounding fluent and socially aware. This is one of the quickest ways to upgrade your English, and if you want more of these real-world conversation upgrades, please remember to hit that subscribe button for the Pocket English podcast.
Okay, let's move on to the second danger zone. Age. We frequently need to describe how old someone is, but using the word old is often considered impolite, especially when talking directly to the person.
The polite rule is, use descriptive terms instead of definitive judgment words. If someone is between 40 and 60, we call them middle-aged. This is perfectly neutral.
When someone is over 65 or retired, we have several options. The most respectful term is elderly. This conveys a sense of respect. You might also hear senior or senior citizen. These are often used in contexts related to discounts or government programs.
Let's practice this distinction. Repeat after me. Middle-aged, elderly, senior citizen. Now, a common mistake is describing physical changes due to age. Saying someone has wrinkles isn't necessarily rude, but it's very direct. You could soften this by saying they have distinguished features or lines around their eyes. It's subtle, but it makes a big difference in tone.
Speaking of subtleties, let's tackle the third area of sensitivity: social status and money. Describing someone's financial habits can be tricky, and English has many strong negative words here.
The most common negative word is stingy. This means someone hates spending money even when they should. It's a harsh criticism.
The polite and positive alternative is frugal. Frugal means someone is careful with their money and spends wisely. It's admirable. It's the difference between he is stingy and never buys lunch for anyone versus she is very frugal and saves money by packing her lunch every day.
We also need to be careful with describing someone as poor. The word poor can feel very harsh and stigmatizing. A far more polite term is financially challenged or low income. These terms are used in professional and sensitive conversations.
Conversely, if someone is wealthy, calling them rich is fine, but sometimes affluent is a more formal and respectful term. Let's try those polite terms. Frugal, financially challenged, affluent.
Now that we've covered the 3 danger zones, body, age, and money, let's put them all together in a quick dialogue so you can hear how these euphemisms flow naturally in conversation. I'm going to describe a new client we met today, Mark.
Okay, Sarah, tell me about Mr. Davies.
Well, Mr. Davies is a very affluent man, definitely not low income. He seemed to be middle-aged, perhaps late 50s. He was dressed in a very expensive suit.
What about his physical appearance? Was he tall?
Yes, he was tall, and I would describe him as well-built, maybe a bit plump. He also had some very distinguished features, a great head of silver hair. He spoke quite slowly, but I thought he seemed friendly.
See how easy that was? We used affluent instead of rich, middle-aged instead of old, and plump instead of fat. You maintained respect and clarity throughout the entire description. Mastering these polite alternatives is the complete payoff of this lesson. You now have the tools to describe anyone without risking offense. To add even more depth to your descriptions, we should also briefly address how to talk about personality traits without using rude, blunt words. Sometimes a personality trait can be described negatively or positively depending on the word you choose.
This is called connotation. For example, if someone has a high opinion of themselves, you could call them arrogant. That's a rude word.
The polite or positive way to describe this quality is confident. A confident person knows their value. An arrogant person makes others feel small.
Another tricky pair is stubborn versus determined. Stubborn means someone won't change their mind even when they're wrong. It's negative. Determined means they are focused on achieving a goal. That's positive.
Let's practice. Instead of arrogant, say confident. Instead of stubborn, say determined. This applies even when talking about quiet people. Instead of calling someone shy, which suggests fear, you could call them reserved or introverted. These are neutral, descriptive terms for their personality style.
So when you put this all together, you are painting a very accurate yet respectful picture of a person. You've got the polite words for body type, age, financial status, and personality.
Let's quickly review the core concepts you learned today. Avoid the direct, harsh words like fat, old, poor, and stingy.
Replace them with gentle euphemisms: curvy or slender, elderly or middle-aged, financially challenged or frugal.
Now, your homework is to listen to the people around you and see if you can hear native English speakers using these euphemisms. Try substituting the polite word the next time you need to describe someone. Start small, maybe with just the positive personality words.
If this video saved you from making a social blunder, please tap the like button. Liking the video helps other English learners discover these crucial lessons and avoid embarrassment too.
Remember, sounding fluent in English isn't just about perfect grammar. It's about knowing the social rules. You now have the best polite vocabulary to navigate any conversation. Keep practicing these terms and you'll sound like a native speaker in no time. You got this.